How many of you think the pandemic was handled really well? Raise your hand. God, you're so judgmental. Okay. How many of you think, no, not so much. I don't think it was handled really well. Okay, so a lot of people don't. Let me start with you. What's your name?
My name's Jeff.
Jeff, you think it wasn't handled really well?
That's correct, yeah.
Why?
I just think there were so many unknowns that maybe we could have taken a different approach and got to the bottom of more things. Granted, it was an unprecedented event, so there were so many variables, but maybe we could have done things differently.
Yeah. Do you think the messaging was good?
It's a
The
tough
information that was coming out, do you think that was handled well?
I think there was so much combat about the information. There was such a black and white with a lot of distrust. So that maybe could have been handled differently, yeah.
Was it politicized?
Oh, it was definitely politicized, yeah.
Yeah. How many of you agree with him that it was politicized? Okay, now, I'm really curious how you feel about that. We're talking about a virus. How the hell does a virus get politicized? Okay.
It was politicized because there was money coming down the pipe.
No, money in politics?
Money in politics.
You're making that
Oh,
up.
I am making it up, right?
Yeah, of course. Money and politics go together. All right, who else?
I go back to like thinking about the mask. If you chose to wear a mask or if you didn't choose to wear a mask, it really told you where you stood politically.
Yeah. How many of you still have questions about, like, what the hell happened? How come we've gone generations without one, and now, boom, here it is? Is it over? Is it coming back? When's the next one going to be? I mean, are those still questions you have in your head? How many of you think that this was no natural phenomenon like the flu or shingles or scurvy like a pirate would get? How many of you think this was not natural phenomena? Somebody had to do something, not intentionally or otherwise, but just that somebody had to do something for this to happen. Raise your hand if you think that. Okay, raise your hand if you think, no, this is just kind of the natural order of things. People got sick. Okay, so no conspiracy theorist among you. Okay, well, we're going to try and answer all these questions and a whole lot more today so you can come away with some understanding. Do you think this has had a major impact that's long-lasting? Or do you think that, hey, it's over, we're back in school, back to work? Do you think, if you think this ain't over in terms of its impact, raise your hand. Yeah, boy, oh boy. Was this handled well?
No, I mean, the short answer is no. And I think the audience all agreed with that.
They get it.
They get it, they're living it, and they're living with the consequences of it. But, it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback and look back and say it wasn't handled well. If we want to be fair to all the policymakers, all the decision makers, it's true that this was an unprecedented event. And we were learning as we were going. My critique is that we weren't applying what we were learning fast enough. And we weren't letting kind of science drive the narrative. Many people said that they felt it got politicized, and it did. And I think that, frankly, prolonged it, tore families apart. It had a lot of unforeseen negative consequences.
It's
and
one thing to have been prepared, to have a preparatory plan. It's another thing to respond.
Right.
There was preparation, but the response fell way below the preparation.
It did. Yeah, it did. And there are lots of reasons for it.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.